this story. The government are going to open 2 state-subsidised restaurants, hand out fresh fruit and veg vouchers, and have a mobile greengrocer delivering nutritious food to deprived communities. This is its way of helping struggling households. There are 6 projects across the UK who are going to share 8.5 million in government funding in a bid to make good food more available to the people that need it. Well, here's some information for you. I think the average single mum in a housing estate doesn't want to be given fruit and veg. They just want to put some, you know, oven chips in and feed that to their kids because that's easier for them and it's cheaper for them. They probably don't even know how to cook fruit and veg. Let's speak now to Chris Snowdon, Head of Lifestyle Economics at the IEA. First of all, what on earth is this government state-backed restaurant? Like, what is that? The communist kitchen? What is going on there?
It's bizarre, isn't it? We seem to be behaving as if we're a super rich country that can afford to spend money on any kind of gimmick or idea or anything that sounds kind of nice. It doesn't make any sense. It's such a strange thing to do. I mean, what is inaccessible about food at the moment? You go into any supermarket, all the fruit and veg is there. I don't know what kind of food they're actually going to be serving up in these nationalised restaurants, but it won't be anything that you can't get somewhere else. It's just addressing a problem that doesn't really exist in a very big government expensive way. You can be sure that a nationalised state subsidised restaurant is going to be much less efficient than any others. It might, if it's successful, succeed in putting some real businesses out of business, but it probably won't even do that. It will just suck up a whole load of money from the taxpayer as usual.
I mean, what is mad about this to me, and like you just said, if you want to buy fruit and veg, you can. It's cheaper than meat. It's cheaper than protein. That is the thing about fruit and veg. It is easily more affordable. And if you wanted to feed your kids healthily, make sure they get their 5 a day, you probably could do it on a tight budget. Probably could do it more effectively on a tight budget than buying all the junk food that people buy. What do they think's going to happen? The little kids are going to be sitting there, hear the bing bong chimes of the Sproutmobile coming around the corner, go, "Mummy, Mummy, please, I want some asparagus."
I mean, if it's about people who are really on a tight budget, they're not going to be in restaurants anyway. You know, restaurants for the majority of people are a rare treat. So I think it shows how out of touch some of these people are, that they think that the way to get low-income people eating more healthily is to build restaurants and have them subsidised by the taxpayer. I mean, normal people go to supermarkets, they buy food, they come home and they cook it. They might not be cooking the kind of food that Wes Streeting likes, but firstly, that's not really any of his business. And secondly, he's not going to change that by subsidising, I don't know, whatever, you know, carrot soup they're going to be serving up in these silly new restaurants.
But I mean, it's also this mental idea of these sort of greengrocers vans that are going to, the Queen of Greens bus. It's going to be bringing affordable fresh fruit and vegetables to communities across Liverpool and Knowsley. I mean, like I said, yeah, a kid's going to get excited by the ice cream van. They're not going to, you know, be running out the front door because the, you know, Sproutmobiles come along. I think what's gone on here is back in the day, you know, my grandparents obviously were from the World War II. My mum was born in the time of rationing. People back then knew how to cook and knew how, you know, to make a little go a long way. They had to. The problem now is people actually just don't know what to do in a kitchen. That magic bus selling fruit and veg ain't going to change that, is it?
No, you're right. The people don't know how to cook, and that actually is a symptom of affluence, not poverty. Clearly, your grandparents were significantly poorer, whatever they were doing, than most people are today, probably nearly anybody today. And that's why they had to make a little go a long way. That's why they ate so much in the way of vegetables, because it's actually a lot cheaper than meat and fish and so forth. So the government and the whole public health lobby in general just get this issue wrong. They think that people aren't eating the kind of food they think they should be eating because of cost and availability. And it's just, you have to be so out of touch, really, with just even what a supermarket looks like to really believe that. The reality is that people mostly can afford, even if they're quite poor, can afford to eat tasty, let's call it what it is, tasty food, which is high in calories. And the reason that human beings find it tasty is precisely because it is high in calories.
But you're right, actually, it is about self-indulgence and affluence. The fact that people have lost some of the most vital life skills. Going back to my grandparents, both of them grew vegetables. You know, they had a council house, but in the garden of that council house, they would plant all manner of things. So that didn't cost anything apart from the cost of a packet of seeds and a little bit of toil in the sunshine. They were able to put food on the table that they'd grown themselves. I wonder how many people now in sort of working class estates can do that.
Well, not many, and to be fair, there will be plenty of people who don't have that opportunity. They don't have a garden and don't have an allotment. So I don't think that's, you know, that's not what's stopping them eating vegetables, which are ridiculously cheap now in supermarkets. It's about choice, and the reality is people are making choices that West Streeting disagrees with, and rather than accept that there's never been more choice, whether it's restaurants or normal grocery retail. He assumes that the government needs to come blundering in with its vegetable buses and its subsidised restaurants. If these things had real demand for them, and perhaps they do, then the private sector would be supplying them. They wouldn't need to be subsidised by the state.
No, I totally agree. Listen, Chris, I fancy inviting you on a date. How about next summer we go to Nottingham and go to the government special restaurant and do a little taste test?
Yeah, you're on. OK, it's still going by then.
Oh, it'd be brilliant. We'll troll it hard. Chris Snowdon, thank you ever so much, Head of Lifestyle Economics at the IEA. If you had, like, the special Sprite-mobile come round, bing, bong, bing, bong, bing... What, do they make that noise? I don't know.
A special what mobile?
Yeah, so basically the government's got this plan that they're going to send round these vans selling, like, you know, cut-price fruit and veg to, like, the poorest housing estates. Because their kids can't wait for that, can they?
Wow. Just send a kebab van round.
Yeah, they're basically, so instead of like the ice cream van, there's basically going to be this thing, the Queen of Greens bus. Apparently it's already been doing this in Liverpool and Knowsley since 2022.
Right.
They're now going to put extra money towards a mapping tool which will help target the vehicle's route to ensure it reaches residents in social housing who may find it harder to access healthy options. So yeah, can you, if you're a kid and you had the asparagus bus come over, would you be like, woohoo, come on,
bus.
kids?
Yes.
Let's all go. I want some peas.
The pumpkin Swede mobile of doom.
Have you read about these state-funded restaurants, though, that they're going to, like the communist kitchens this government wants to
I love that phrase,
roll out?
the communist kitchens.
I think they should get Gordon Ramsay in charge
because
of it.
they're obsessed with this idea that the state can always do more and it has a unique ability above individuals to be able to provide and change your lifestyle. It's never proven anywhere on the planet. There is no template for this kind of guff working anywhere. So there might be one or two people who go, do you know what, I'd never ever tasted a kumquat until that very moment when the van turned up, and now I have one on a daily basis.
I'll tell you
so
what,
that can happen.